If you're having problems choosing your fortunes, why not listen to the best? We often tend to get confused on which asset to put our money in, mostly when we're just beginning with investment. But let's not forget about following a few people whose investment can never go wrong. Don't you want to know what Cathie Wood picks are for investing? Then make sure to watch this video till the end. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how the brilliant investor picks her investment options. The breakout star investor has emerged as one of the most brilliant in what she does, which is investing, especially in the most chaotic years in Wall Street history. If you're someone confused as how to make a solid investment and which asset is for you, then make sure to watch this video, drop a like, and subscribe to the channel. Press the bell notification so that you don't miss out on any new updates. Also, let us know in the comments which tip of Cathie you love the most. Starting the video without a brief introduction on Cathie Wood would not be fair to our new and young investor audience. Cathie Wood is currently the godmother of investing. She is the founder, CEO, and Chief Investment Officer of ARK Investment Management. This company has grown to manage a portfolio of over $53.7 billion in assets, with the holdings primarily concentrated in blockchain technology, electric vehicle, fintech, genomics, and artificial intelligence. Given the overview of her investment portfolio, one thing is for sure, Cathie Wood does not give many references to short-lived assets. Her works and picks are mostly those that are speculated to live longer. The well-known star picker manages disruptive innovation-focused portfolios through her EFTs, to the point where if you're unable to find any suitable asset to invest in, simply and blindly put your money and faith on Cathie Wood. Cathie became more famous after her session and sharing the panel with Kevin O'Leary, the person better remembered from the business show Shark Tank. She was the one who did not agree with his co-panelist that Tesla's shares were bound to shrink. Instead, she was the one who rattled off all the reasons as to why Elon Musk's company was better in many ways. She believes that the future is artificial intelligence. Automating would be made better with the convergence of software with this intelligence. Her ability to connect with individual investors like Flores has contributed to Woods' status as the most powerful investor at work in the markets today. After the funds she manages made massive profits in 2020, many of these young traders have adopted her feast or famine trading strategy. Just like earlier generations emulated the relatively risk-averse ways of stock pickers like Fidelity's Peter Lynch or Berkshire Hathaway's Warren Buffett. Cathie is different in her way of approach, which may be considered unusual. She combines high levels of risk with the high levels of transparency about her views to produce, at least last year, but with astronomically high returns. This approach is new and has already connected new investors in the financial journey. Her aggressive wagers on sometimes unprofitable technology companies are more suited to traders who gloat on Reddit about YOLOing their rent money than endowments and institutions that rely on the traditional money management business, where she spent more than 30 years. According to Cathie Wood, if you want to start investing, the present times could be the best ones, mainly because of the high increment in IPOs. The sectors such as telephone, automobile, electricity are currently under the processes of radical change. Consider comparing the development in all these three sectors starting from the medieval era. On that note, the growth that each sector has showcased collectively is astounding. Therefore, one needs to understand that the future is here, and if you do not invest now, you won't get the best out of the best. Cathie has also talked about the research part of the investment. ARK Invest, which has emerged as one of the most scaled asset management companies in the past few years, has 5 different platforms which are DNA sequencing, energy, shortage, robotics, especially collaborative robots, artificial intelligence, and blockchain technology, with 14 different technologies. So, here, Cathie Wood believes that from now onwards there would be a lot of opportunity for all innovation-oriented investors out there. So, Cathie Wood has already stated her thinking and believes that these 5 investment platforms are going to be the most disruptive in the coming years. They have already formed a bubble that is extensive and big enough to accommodate a radical change in the industry, practically changing each and every corner of human life. These 5 platforms are expected by ARK Invest to be the most transformative in the period of history and are speculated to create multiple trillions in market capitalization over the next decade. ARK Invest has been focused on research, and the Center for the Research is Wright's Law. as per this law, which says for every cumulative doubling in units produced, cost is declined at a consistent rate. This formula was derived by Mr. Wright during the early days of the airplane manufacturing sector, where he noticed that for every cumulative doubling for airplane number in production, the cost declined at a consistent rate. When the cost declines, the technicalities show that the graph, and in real life, a huge amount of demand waves get unleashed, which is what we call exponential growth. Let's take an example of electricity. The concept was just an experiment, but it turned out to be magically successful. And with every doubling of the production, its supply increased and its price decreased. But because it's an essential commodity, the demand for it can never go down, and this is the magic of technology. Technology is seeping into every sector, and therefore it has somewhat blurred the lines between sectors. CATHIE says that these 5 platforms will converge and take in even more output from other sectors, healthcare, and the industrial field. CATHIE Wood has always focused on innovative companies, and ARK Invest is considered to be one of the biggest bulls for Tesla. She, in one of her interviews, has mentioned the reason why the present automobile analysts have a neutral idea for Tesla. They are mainly looking into financial analytics, its dividend yield, market, and everything. But what they need to understand is that Tesla is not just like any other automobile manufacturing company. It's an artificial intelligence chip designer and autonomous taxi platform service provider. So for all those who think investing in Tesla is like investing in any other auto company, they need a correction here. ARK Invest has got 3 analysts focused and collaborating on understanding how Tesla is going to evolve during the next few years. On a gist of CATHIE Wood's interview and investment portfolio, it is understandable that her focused companies are limited, and that must already have given you an idea as to where and which sectors you need to invest, especially if you're looking out for long-term investments and returns. CATHIE went on to talk about her analyst, Sam Corres, who is in the robotics sector. He's working to analyze the autonomous work done by robots, and these will eventually be done by autonomous vehicles. Wood also regarded Corres as the financial industry's expert in battery technology. After this, CATHIE has also mentioned James Wang, the person who had been working for NVIDIA, the artificial intelligence chip company. Mr. Wang has spent 9 years at NVIDIA, therefore his knowledge in understanding artificial intelligence is great. Most importantly, he understands how important Tesla's latest artificial intelligence chip is. Next on our list is Tasha Keeney, who is working towards making the autonomous taxi network model, which CATHIE believes has a gross margin in the 80% range compared to the regular auto manufacturer, who is at 20 to 30%. She says the autonomous business has very high margin and the revenue is recurring because of their battery technology. She has mentioned a disrupted situation in the value traps. You need to watch out for value traps, and they are in the banks today. As per the invested yield curves, the value stocks are going to see a massive disruption, which is also because innovation is bound to bring very rapid unit growth. The surprising aspect that CATHIE talked about was the operation of industrial statistics, which is absurd when we're in the digital age. CATHIE's next suggestion would always be to follow the millennials and the current scenario. The millennials are accelerating the fintech revolution. Let's consider the adoption of social media. The millennials were more inclined and invested in social media. According to the reports, 40% of all age group millennials showed the most interest in social media, unlike the older age group. The next thing that CATHIE Wood had mentioned is about gene editing companies. Watch out for such companies because these companies get a royalty for every therapeutic treatment they have been developing, and time and again we will need them. People will always be in need of such companies, and they can never go out of the market. In short, she calls for investment in disruption. Study understands where you're likely to see disruption and make sure that you're a part of it. That's all for today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell notifications to always be aware of the latest market trends. And we'll see y'all at our next one.